Shane P here, and today we're going to be reviewing Batman #2. Let's go. The book opens up and it's a flashback, and it's Bruce trying to teach Tim how to drive manual on an old truck because he's, I guess very eager to learn how to drive the Batmobile, but Batman's like, yeah, we're going to learn how to drive on this old ass truck instead. Then we come back to the present, and there's like these three robbers that stop this truck from, doing its job. And it's just, I guess, trying to make a delivery or something like that, and they end up robbing it. One of the robbers end up killing the truck driver, and yeah, it gets really nasty. Cops show up, they scramble, they run in, and the dude that killed the truck driver, he cuts around the corner with the box of whatever that they stole inside that truck, gets fucking hit right on top of the head by Tim Drake's freaking, stick or whatever, that he carries around, his little, staff, as you would say. So he cracks him in the head, and he's like, bleeds leaking everywhere, and he's like, what do you have here? What kind of narcotics or new drugs or whatever? And the dude that got hit in the head, he's like, it's just baby milk, baby formula or something like that. He said the babies are always hungry and stuff. So that's pretty weird. So two cops show up, and one of them, they're already guns blazing and shit, trying to point the guns at him, was like, freeze, don't move, and stuff like that. So the guy that got hit in the head that killed the truck driver, he ends up running away. The cop freaking that pointed the guns at him shoots the damn robber. He killed his ass, and then he was like, he told Tim not to move, and Tim's like, nah, I'm out of here. So he throws down one of them smoke pellets, and then you just see Tim, like, in the alley, just freaking jump up between two buildings and is trying to get out of there. And when he was about to be gone, the cop shoots. So the cop ends up shooting him right in the rib as he's trying to get away, and he falls down, and he's caught by the cops. Then they have another flashback where it goes straight back to Bruce trying to teach Tim how to drive the old truck so he can learn how to drive stick shift or manual, so that he can learn how to drive the Batmobile. And Damien jumps onto the hood. It's pretty funny. Damien jumps onto the hood, and he's making fun of Tim because he's just not getting it. And then and then Bruce says, just hit another gear, and then he pushes Damien off the hood. And there's a Alfred cameo again, which is pretty cool. Just showing Alfred again, and he's a good Master Tim and stuff like that. So that was dope. And yeah, coming back to the present again. And it's Tim. He's locked into this police van, and they put him in this van full of freaking all the criminals that they've collected after, a night of, collecting criminals and shit. And they're just trying to give Tim Drake a really tough time. So the guy that shot the one criminal and killed him and shot Tim as well is like driving the van, and he's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna give him a tough time. So as he's like, handcuffed, in the van, he's like swerving and driving and like just making them bounce around in the back of the police van. And Tim's actually holding his own. There's like 8 criminals inside that van, and Tim's like beating ass, even with his him being handcuffed. And he held his own until he ends up like breaking free and stuff like that out of his cuffs. And as that was happening, the police van runs over the bat strips, and lo and behold, it is the main man, Batman, to save the day. So like the cop van end up swerving, and Batman opens up the car, and he gets Tim out of the van. And then the cop comes out with a shotgun and is like, don't you move, I'll shoot you, I'm not scared of you. And Batman's like, okay, whatever. And the cop's partner ends up, points the gun at him because he's pointing the gun at Batman. And he's like, don't do it. So it's like they're having like a standoff with each other now, the two cops. And I'm like, what the hell? So they end up freaking shooting each other. Batman jumps in between of them and is trying to block the bullets and shit, but they end up both getting shot. And as the dude that the one bad cop that ended up killing the other robber and shot Tim, he's bleeding out. Batman turns his head for a minute, the dude cocks the shotgun and freaking shoots Batman in the back of the head, bro. Shotgun right to the head. And Batman's like, getting all dazed and is woozy and shit like that. And that cop ends up dying from the gun wound. Tim is helping out Batman, and he puts him in the car, in the Batmobile, and then next thing you know, he ends up freaking driving Batman in the Batmobile. So I guess all this build up from the past of him trying to teach him how to drive the Batmobile, he ends up putting Batman into the Batmobile and like driving him, and I guess saving him from that gunshot wound. So that's pretty crazy. And so as they were in the car, this was like a silly line that I end up like reading in the book. He's like, how many gears is in his car, in his Batmobile? And Batman's like, just 13. He's like, why is it 13 in here? And he just explains why is there 13, and there's like the 13 is like a secret shift or some shit. And then Tim is like, of course. And he just doesn't understand why he has 13 shifts, gears inside the Batmobile. And then Batman is like, it's because I got the coolest car in the world. And I'm like, why would Batman say that? Like, why would he say that out loud? It just was weird. It was weird to read. And it was weird just like for him to tell that to Tim. It was just a weird conversation and a weird dialogue by Batman, in my opinion. So as Tim is driving away to get him, get Batman some help, after he got that shotgun shot to the head, Commissioner Savage shows up, and he just pretty much declares Batman and Robin as like enemies to the GCPD. And so I guess they're on a hit list now. They're straight up villains for the police department, pretty much giving them a green light to, I guess, take him out or take him in, or they're just enemies to the police department. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, that's pretty much it. That is Batman issue number 2. I don't know if there's anything else that's big that's happening. This just seems like a very like one-dimensional, bland story so far. I guess it's leading into something bigger, with Commissioner Savage saying that they are enemies to the police department. But other than that, like, there's not, the stakes are not too high right now. It's just like a very bland story to me. The art is fantastic. George Jimenez is fantastic in this art. Is amazing. But other than that, the story is still, to me, even from the first issue, had a lot more going on for it, but this issue was very stripped down and very one-dimensional for me. And it's just, I hope that issue 3 picks up. We'll see. I give this issue a 5 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed that review, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right, peace.